joined in studio by Ottawa artists Matt and Nicole Crisp. And Matt is the worship director at the Lifecentre Church here in town. Nicole is a music teacher. She leads worship at the Lifecentre as well. And they have a new project out, The Union Volume 2. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Almost like regulars here in the studio.
It just, we'll just consistently come every week and be...
Or every time you have new
co-hosts.
music, at least.
Okay.
Because that's
It seems to be like every 2 or 3 years, so it'll be a good break.
I actually wanted to start on that. Why did it take you 3 years in between, and kind of like what inspired this album? Some artists don't feel like they need to release albums if they're worship leaders, and so yeah, just tell us the inspiration behind this one.
I think the first one came out in 2012, and that one was kind of a fulfillment of a dream for the two of us, and we kind of didn't think past it. And then once it finished and maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years passed, I started to think, hey, it would be cool if we did another one. And it really came about just by us recognizing that we didn't think we were finished yet with writing songs and recording them for local churches. And so the gap was, obviously, it's expensive to do this, especially as an independent artist. So you do the first one and pay it off, and then think about how you're going to start the next one. And so that was a part of the journey, and we've had great support from family and friends behind the scenes. So yeah, there wasn't much science to it. We just it was just part of the process.
Well, and part of, paying it off, part of time going by, you have to balance church and family and music.
Yep.
So can you talk to people who are in ministry who are listening maybe, and just tell them how you balance that all?
Well, working in the church full time, I have to recognize that my family is first and foremost priority, and so I think then obviously is my relationships, friends, my church, the place I work, and then this we kind of fit into all of those like slots that we have available. Recognizing that I don't know that we feel we want to travel full time, so that's something that we've just kind of determined. That's a value for us, not being on the road and away from our church or our children for extended periods of time. What am I missing?
I don't think much. I was going to add something about the first project. Seemed like it came out of it was a dream of ours to record our own music and to write. And as we got more rooted and went deeper into our own church community here in Ottawa, once we'd been here for a couple of years, the relationships start to get a little richer and deeper also. So a lot of these songs came out of those relationships and the stories of what was happening in our community also.
Talk about the title. Why The Union for you guys?
Well, oddly enough, it was recommended to us before our first project. And so we said, hey, we'll try to go by The Union, quickly realizing there's another artist that goes by The Union. So we kind of had to backtrack and go, okay, how do we still use the name? Because we like it. We're married. The Union, it kind of fits. How do we still use the name with still going Matt and Nicole? So we thought every project that we release will come under the banner of The Union. So Volume 1, Volume 2.
Volume 75.
That's
wow,
right.
I wasn't going that far.
That's when your grandchildren are doing it.
So their Union, we'll just pass it down onto our children.
That's weird.
So we're just releasing these projects under the banner, The Union Project, 1, 2, now it's 75. You've committed to that publicly.
We'll
so
see where it
on
goes.
air.
Yeah.
How do you hope these songs are going to build the church? And if this can be a twofold question, being that you're in ministry, being that, Matt, you have an extensive background even in the music industry, helping out with GMA awards and managing a band and road managing and stuff. So again, kind of combining your experience, what you see, and your purpose, your heart behind these songs. What do you hope to see happen here in the church? What do you see in the landscape of music and ministry in Canada? What can you tell us on that?
I think there's something very unique happening in Ottawa actually right now. Churches unifying and working for city renewal and seeing the kingdom built, and I don't think it's based around any one person or singular church. And I think the songs that people places on the Lord's heart, or that the Lord places on people's heart, I think are important for the church to be singing them together. And that's why essentially we're really clear in how we write songs. We write songs for local churches, and we want to make them as accessible as possible for local churches, recognizing, hey, is this something I could picture myself singing on a Sunday morning with the gospel just surrounding it and coding it, and that's really our focus. And I think it's starting to become more and more prominent within the Christian music industry, recognizing the need to be writing songs for local churches. And maybe sometimes, not always, and this is just me, but sometimes less for entertainment specifically, and more for the building and the equipping of local churches. And it's definitely starting to become more and more prominent.
Cool. Well, we've heard a couple songs already of yours, but I want to know about the one you're going to do for us this afternoon. Now, first of all, you have two other gentlemen in the studio,
Yes, we do.
so you can maybe introduce them and then tell us about the song.
We have two handsome young gentlemen here with us today. We have Reginald on acoustic guitar, and
Say hi, Reggie.
he also plays the oboe, but he chose to leave that at home today. And we have Brandon, who's one of our worship leaders and interning at our church.
Say hello, Brandon. Hello.
Wow, that is not your real voice. But they're with us today to support us, and they're big cheerleaders and like family to us. It's pretty cool.
We call them sons.
That's right.
But mathematically, it doesn't work.
So tell us what song we're going to hear.
This is a song that came out of, like I was talking about relationships in our church. There's a family in our church that's going through an incredible process and journey. Kevin Bloodworth was diagnosed with brain cancer and was given a couple months to live. And we just celebrated 7 years of that mark. He has surpassed and surprised everything that doctors ever spoke over him. And this family just digs into the truth and the faith and the promise of God. And no matter what happens, his situation, what he's feeling like, he's just such an encouragement. And his wife, Nancy, I've got to know her. And one morning I woke up and I just felt like this little nudge that I should write a song for her, which I thought was kind of weird because I'm not really that, I just felt like it was a little bit strange because I never had that before. And so I sat on it for a couple of weeks. And then I finally had the guts to say, I think I wrote a song for you, gave her this horrible little voice memo from my phone, emailed it to her, and then we sat there, listened to it, and we never talked about it until we went down to Nashville in January and shared this story with our producer, and this song just kind of took shape, and we had something to bring home to them from that trip. That was more of it was like a demo, and it was, the song was finished, and it has really been a cool part of encouraging them, and our whole congregation has dug into it. It's a story that's homegrown, and it hits home every time, and it's been really cool to see how God's used a little nudge, and we're really humbled by it.
Yeah. And just one more example that fits in your mandate for just lifting up the church. Yeah. Okay, let's hear it.
Let's do it. Child in your hands, you love me and you always have. That's all I need to know. No matter what will come my way, I'm not alone in night or day. That's all I need to know. 'Cause you are faithful, God, to me. Always with me, and I believe, though I may not understand, you have a plan, and it's for your glory, God. I lift my eyes to you, God. That is where my help comes from, and that's all I need to know. You alone have been my strength, and I will say that's all I need to know. 'Cause you are faithful, God, to me. You're always with me, and I believe, though I may not understand. You're always with me, and I believe. Though I may not understand, you have a plan. Oh, 'cause you are faithful, God, to me. You're always with me, and I believe. Though I may not understand, you have a plan, and it's for your glory, God. It's for your glory, God. 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 For your glory, God.
That's from the Union, Volume 2, Matt and Nicole Crisp. Again, we have Reggie and Brandon in the studio as well. Okay, before we
Yes.
wrap up, Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday's at 6:30. Anyone's welcome, right?
Anyone.
Worship night.
It's free. We're going to be singing some of our songs, some familiar songs. We planned it with the idea of this church, just local church, coming together and singing for the glory of Christ. We don't want it to be a spectator sport, so we really want it to be focused on Him and the Lord. And so it's free, 6:30.
Awesome. Lifecentre Church. Details on the website. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank you.
you.